morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome on into the premiere edition, the premiere episode of 1TS Daily. I'm your host, Zack Heydorn. Super pumped to be here. It's Monday, June 3rd, 2024. And what a day. What a day it is. The beginning of One True Sport. I'm pumped to be here. You may know me from Brass Ring Media. You may know me from PW Torch. I was an assistant editor there with Wade for a long time. I was managing editor at SC Scoops and author of a brand new book, Stunning the Wrestling Artistry of Steve Austin. But hello. I am here now with the One True Sport team for 1TS Daily. This is going to be a show Monday through Friday, tackling the news of the week, the news of the day, the news coming out of all the pro wrestling shows throughout the week. So I am so excited to be here. I'm excited to have you here with me. Thank you. It's a big day. As I said, it's a big day. The One True Sport launch, your new go-to destination for captivating content, high quality merchandise, and immersive membership experiences. More on that in a little bit. This show, as I said, all news, all engagement, all talking to you. As I have the comments open, live chat is open, super chats are open if you want to get some questions in about different topics, about happenings from over the weekend. Later in the week, if you want to rant and rave about Monday Night Raw or AEW Dynamite or something to that effect, please feel free to do so with the super chats and with the live chat. Lots going on today with the launch of One True Sport. Later today at 2 p.m. Right here on YouTube, there'll be a bit of a what, where, when, why, and how of One True Sport with Dominic and Marcus and Paul kind of running you through what One True Sport is, what's happening here, how is everything going to work out, and what's the story behind this great new endeavor in the pro wrestling content space. Later tonight, after Monday Night Raw, Dominic will be right here live for a bit of a Raw post show. His new program, One True View, will be late nights on Mondays. Today, it's going to be Monday Night Raw focused, coming in hot after Raw tonight in the lead up to Clash in the Castle in a couple weeks. But it'll be tackling lots of other topics as it goes on. But don't miss that tonight. One True View right here. And then earlier, before that, 5:15 Eastern, Dominic D'Angelo's interview with Terry Funk. Terry Funk's final interview is going to be airing live right here on our YouTube channel and on all of our platforms. You can check that out 5:15 Eastern. Members of One True Sport, if you sign up for a membership, you will get early access to this. And you definitely are going to want to check that out. Dominic in the chat right now going, hey, Kurt will be on this channel still. So don't forget about that. Kurt Angle will be here. We've got a lot of other talents that are going to be a part of what we do here at One True Sport. Kurt Angle, Arn Anderson, Rob Van Dam, Jake Roberts, Medusa, Magnum TA, Ted DiBiase, Greg Gagne, and so much more. So don't worry about that, EPA. We got you covered. Kurt is going to be on this channel. So don't worry. Don't worry. Let's get into some of the action here as the chats roll in, as the live chats roll in, and as our super chats roll in as well. We'll start things off Friday night on SmackDown. We had a bit of a callback segment, if you will, a bit of a callback segment to when Mark Henry retired back in the day with the salmon-colored jacket. He's out there. He cuts this just brilliant promo about his time in wrestling, and it's emotional. Tears are flowing. John Cena's out there, and then bam, snap of the fingers. Mark Henry turns on Cena, drops him in the middle of the ring, and on we go. Cena feuding with Mark Henry. That was a few years ago, more than a few years ago now, I guess. But that was a major part of SmackDown history, I'd say. AJ Styles took a page out of Mark Henry's playbook this past Friday on SmackDown and faked his retirement in a very similar fashion. He wasn't wearing a salmon-colored coat. It was a light blue suit coat. So clearly like an homage to that storyline without question. But Styles is out there. Instead of John Cena, it's Cody Rhodes out there who's kind of playing, a bit of a gullible baby face, if you will. And then, of course, AJ Styles betrays Cody Rhodes' kindness, attacks Cody, and seemingly sets up a rematch between both for Cody's undisputed WWE Championship at Clash at the Castle in a couple of weeks. What did you guys think of this? Those of you who are watching live here, drop your thoughts in the live chat. I want to get some back and forth going on this topic because I think you could read this a couple different ways. On one hand, I think you could say to yourself, "Hey, that's a relatively strong angle, right?" I mean, AJ Styles and Cody Rhodes had a good match at what show? What even show was that? Was it Backlash? Yes, it was Backlash. Had a good match at Backlash. They worked well together. They had some chemistry, I thought, in that match and in the build to it. So it makes sense to me to go to a rematch there that has a little bit more depth to it, a little bit more of a personal rivalry to it. So I think you could look at this and go, all right, they did that well. They officially turned AJ Styles heel. He looked like a vicious, mean heel, dangerous, somebody that's unhinged, somebody that's willing to literally do anything in order to get the WWE Undisputed Championship or get an opportunity at the WWE Undisputed Championship. That's all there. That's all part of it. And I think if you look at it from that perspective, pretty good angle, right? That's what you want. You want heat on your heels. You want Cody, the shining babyface who's going to fight valiantly against the evil AJ Styles. So that's the positive end of this angle. Now, there's a bit of a negative end though. Was Cody Rhodes too gullible? Like when you guys are seeing this happen, you guys are seeing this angle play out. I mean, are you as gullible as Cody was? I mean, I'm like, hey, look, Cody, he's wearing a light colored suit jacket, man. You've seen this play out before. Be careful, beware. And instead, Cody was out there doing the babyface thing, right? He's out there, he's raising up his hand. He's got all sorts of, smiles on his face, and he's emotional. Like, yeah, boy, I mean, I feel like if he could have stood out there for a few more minutes, he would have had, the waterworks going. And so I think you got to wonder a little bit what kind of babyface champion Cody is going to be. Not that there's anything wrong with being emotional and whatnot, but the problem is, did he look silly? Did he look gullible? Did he look like somebody that couldn't see what everybody else can see? And you don't want that as your babyface. You want to have a babyface that is on the up and up, that's aware of his surroundings, that is can't get got like Cody did. So I think if you feel that way about this angle, I can't blame you either. I definitely cannot blame you here in terms of like how this made Cody Rhodes look as a babyface. So just like anything else, though, it's all in the follow-up here, folks, right? It's all in the follow-up. What comes next? How do they spin this? What does Cody say? Cody in particular, how does Cody Rhodes come back from this? That's probably not the right way to put it, but how does he talk about getting got by AJ Styles in a way that, keeps him like a strong babyface and takes away, that kind of gullible nature of what happened Friday on SmackDown. The end game here, Cody Rhodes versus AJ Styles 2 at Clash at the Castle. I think this is a thumbs up match for Cody, honestly. I wouldn't have gone about it the way that they did. I would have gone about it with just a more straight up attack by AJ Styles. AJ can come in there, just, hey, I want another shot. I'm going to beat you to a pulp. That's it. That way you don't have to worry about Cody, being gullible or, falling for AJ's nonsense. You don't have to go that route. They didn't. They went a little bit differently. I think Cody's somebody that can. I think he's somebody that can sell through the notion that, hey, man, like I cared. I cared about AJ Styles. I care about his history. I care about his legacy. And he played me, and now I'm gonna get him back. And now he's gonna pay for what he did to me. I think the right promo from Cody can pivot this back around. And I think this match makes a lot of sense for this particular show because it's not going to be, the A match. Drew McIntyre in Scotland wrestling for the world title against Damian Priest. Like, that's your main event. That's your A match. So you don't need Cody Rhodes and AJ here to carry like the big bulk of the entire show, because you've got other stuff happening on the show that's going to be more important. So I would grade this as a strong. If you could have a strong B-, like that's where I would clock this in at right now, with the ability for it to elevate itself in the not too distant future, based on how Cody can talk on the microphone and how AJ continues on as a heel. You guys are listening to the 1TS Daily premiere episode right here on One True Sport. I'm Zack Heydorn. I am your host. Pumped to be here. Thanks to everybody who's joined us in the chat. EPA is in there. Matthew's in there. Jacob says, hey, what's going on, Jacob? Glad you're here for the premiere episode, man. Once again, guys, we'll be here Monday through Friday, right here at this time, 11 Eastern, talking the news of the day, the news of the week of pro wrestling with me and some other co-hosts and other folks that come in from time to time. But really pumped to be here and glad you're here with me. We got a question from Hunter, who is asking about NXT. One True Sport, do you think another tag team will cost Nathan Frazier's titles, like a new tag team or a surprise tag team on NXT, just like Ethan Page? Yeah, so this weekend we've got NXT Battleground coming up on June 9th, Sunday, so 6 days from now. Thanks, Hunter. I think that it's going to be more of a straight up win for Frazier and Axiom. They're going to take on Gallows and Anderson. We'll talk more about the show as the week goes on, but the way they've been setting this thing up, Hunter, is just, Gallows and Anderson bullying Frazier and Axiom into taking the match. And now I think you're going to see Frazier and Axiom just kind of win straight up. Like, I think that's the role that Gallows and Anderson have in NXT right now. Like, get some other talent over, be a team that other teams can run through either on the way to a title shot or as champions, like we're seeing now, and that's it. So no, I don't think you're going to see another team jump in there. I think Frazier and Axiom are going to just hold on to those titles. We'll talk more about that show as the week goes on. Tomorrow on the show, we'll also preview this week's episode of NXT, which should be a good one going home for Battleground. Thanks, Hunter. Appreciate it. If you want to get your comments in, go ahead. Please do. The live chat's open. Our super chats are open as well, and that definitely helps out the channel. If you guys can drop in a super chat, ask your questions, and we'll make sure to get them answered here in the 30 minutes that we have. Next story I want to talk about today, the WWE.com takeover. Did you guys see this craziness over the weekend? A cryptic message story, a face of a figure on WWE.com over the weekend. And I'm going to read to you exactly what the cryptic message said. And it's exactly that, pretty cryptic. It says, hello. I'd like to tell you a story about value. We often equate value with utilization. That is not the case. If a piece of currency is crumpled, ignored, and tossed to the side, does it lose its value? Of course not. It is simply in the hands of the ignorant. We often devalue ourselves as a result of the ignorance of those around us. Their words define us. I have been guilty of this myself. I have let the expectations of others determine my self-worth. But once I realized my calling, the words of the naysayers began to fall on deaf ears. I am nobody. I am all of us. When you free yourself from the preconceived ideas of others, from the lies, you become liberated. I accepted my calling. Only then was I able to set the others free. We followed the words of the red, and now we see. I offer you one last chance at redemption. It doesn't have to be this way. The cave can no longer exist. We are going to burn it to the ground. a massacre is coming. So there you go. I mean, whew. What do we think of that? I mean, I think that this definitely plays, and tell me if you guys disagree, but this I think definitely plays into the QR codes and the different interruptions that we've seen, not just on WWE programming on television, but on their Twitch channel and on the 2K24 stream and all sorts of places within the WWE ecosystem, so to speak. This definitely plays into that. And when I read that, and when I see that over the weekend, I mean, I think it's pretty compelling. I think it's a pretty compelling story, a pretty compelling piece of work. Well written, cryptic for sure, threatening for sure, a little unhinged as well. And I like the definitive ending of saying, "Hey, a massacre is coming," because I think since Bray Wyatt started doing his thing. And really changing the industry with what he brought to the table in terms of cinematography of his work and just the character development and the intense kind of breadcrumb pieces of what he would do to develop his personality. It had a hard time landing in the ring. And I like how this ends with a massacre is coming, because you could read this and go, oh man, what's going to happen in that ring someday? What's coming? What massacre is coming, and where, and from who, and when's it going to happen, and how bad is it going to be? But it can play out in the ring. It can play out on television. It can play out in a pro wrestling kind of way. That is what pushes me over the edge and makes me go, okay, this has some legs, because it can actually get carried out in a wrestling ring. And I think that that's really, really important. Now, who's behind all this? Uncle Howdy. That's, a major possibility. The Wyatt Six have been brought up as, potentially the folks that are involved here. I like this type of thing in wrestling generally. Now they have to execute on it, right? We can't be having these cryptic messages over and over and over and over again for a year. Even after said group or said person debuts, right? There has to be some storyline development here. But in terms of being a tease that goes along with what we've seen so far, this worked. And I like how they don't run and hide from it. Taking over WWE.com, that's a pretty big deal. It's a pretty big thing. It's a pretty big avenue to push this storyline forward. And that I think was a really interesting part of this. So if you haven't checked it out, you can check out some of the pictures and stuff on my Twitter at Zack_Heydorn. You can follow me right there. You can also follow us and my other work at Brass Ring Media if you want to check out some of the actual pictures of what happened and how it was taken over. Definitely do. But this is a big step forward. It's like a looming threat is now there for WWE, and WWE can build on that. And I think it was a smart way to put that threat out there. Jeff, hello. Jeff just joined us in the chat. What's going on, Jeff? Thanks for being here, man. 1TS Daily. This is the premiere episode. I'm Zack Heydorn. I am your host. Thank you guys so much for tuning in live and for being here. You guys, if you want, Jeff asks a great question. How do I sign up for a membership tier? You can go right now to onetruesport.com. That's onetruesport.com. We've got all the membership tiers that are listed there. There's 3 different ones, all with some really strong components of what you can get as a member. And it's a really impressive slate of perks for membership. So once again, guys, it's onetruesport.com. You can also follow the group and the platform Twitter. It's 1T Sport on Twitter, and you can find the membership tiers there as well. Cool. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate you, man. Hopefully you come back. We'll be here live Monday through Friday, 11 Eastern, right here talking the news of the week. As Dominic says here, hey, you can also sign up right here on the YouTube channel. So do that. That's easy. You're already here. Just go there, click, sign up. You'll be happy that you did. I can promise you that. More on the cryptic nature of this stuff that's happening as we go. But let's preview Monday Night Raw tonight. A lot happening on the show as we kind of head to Clash at the Castle, which is not that far away. We're about 2 weeks away from Clash at the Castle. So WWE has a lot to get to here. Tonight on the show, WWE is promoting a handful of matches and an appearance from Liv Morgan. So the matches are Rey Mysterio versus Damian Priest, The New Day versus AOP, Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser, and then that appearance from Liv Morgan. I am most interested from like a segment perspective, and you guys tell me in the chat here too, what are you guys most interested in seeing on Raw tonight, given that that's what's being promoted? I want to see how Liv Morgan continues to progress as a heel world champion. Since she's kind of had the heel turn with Rhea Ripley, I think she's just been an infinitely more compelling character on television than she was as babyface Liv Morgan. Like, I think we've just have seen babyface Liv Morgan in the same type of character for so long now. I mean, when you think about her back when she made her main roster debut as a member of the Riot Squad, right? Riot Squad? Yeah, that's what it's called. Riot Squad. She's kind of playing the same character right now. Yeah, there's different elements to it. She's got the watch me thing, and she's a better wrestler and she's a better talker. She's just a better all-around performer than she was back then. But the gimmick, the character, that's been pretty much the same. So this heel turn has allowed her a chance to kind of open up that personality, like take that core Liv Morgan character and the gimmick and kind of just flip it on its head. She can be a little bit more twisted. She can be a little bit more arrogant. She can be a little bit more just kind of mean, and she can be more alpha, I think, because she's got that championship. So when I think about Liv Morgan and her future and what she can bring to Monday Night Raw and pay-per-views and WWE as a whole, I think she has a higher ceiling as a heel because she can showcase a fresher side of that character and a fresher side of that personality. Now, add into that she's got a ready-made match with Rhea Ripley, like on the horizon when Rhea comes back and when Rhea is healthy. Man, fans are going to eat that up. And so Liv's job right now is to just start laying in that consistent heel work, the consistent heel personality, a foundation of, hey, I'm the champion. I'm going to be the champion for a long time. No one's going to take this belt off of me. That's key. Because if she can start doing that, eventually Rhea is going to come back and you have a major moment set. Now, the other thing that Liv Morgan is going to address tonight, I'm sure, is the kiss heard around the world, the kiss between herself and Dominic Mysterio at the end of Raw. Now, the whole world didn't see this kiss happen because the show went off the air before they got to it. Ultimate fail there, Mr. Paul Levesque. You can't miss that type of story development. But needless to say, plenty of people can find that stuff on social media, and I think it made its rounds. So, of course, yes, you want to have that on your on your television show, but for all intents and purposes, it worked out just fine. But yes, Liv beats Becky Lynch in the main event last week in a steel cage match, and Dom was kind of a part of that, even though it's indirectly a part of that, or at least that's what they'll have you believe. And then Liv Morgan just lays one on him. Big kiss at the end of the show. Dom is stunned and taken aback, almost kind of worried because I think he knows, hey, he's still with mommy. Mommy's not going to like that. And now the two of them are connected as well. So you have Liv as this heel champion that's kind of making her way. And now you have this other underlying storyline where Liv is making inroads to Rhea's man, Dominic Mysterio. And so I think there's a lot of threads to pull at this. So I'm excited to see how Liv does. It's a moment for her. She's got to hit a home run with the promo. I mean, she's got to it's one thing to be booked as a strong act. It's one thing to be booked as a champion. It's one thing to be booked as somebody that the company sees something in. But you also have to deliver in some big moments. And she got one last week with that kiss. I mean, that's a big storyline. And now she's being promoted to talk about it. She's got to hit a home run. And so we'll see what she does. We'll see what she does. Dominic will have all the fallout on his show right here on this channel, One True View, tonight after Raw. So you're not going to want to miss that. Definitely check that out tonight. From a match perspective, is everybody looking forward to Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser as much as I am? I think this match is going to be glorious. I mean, I'm not necessarily like a big Sheamus fan necessarily, but he can bring it in the ring in terms of just being a brute guy that just beats people up. I mean, just look at the matches that he's had with Gunther that showcase that style perfectly. I think Ludwig Kaiser is going to play off that supremely well. I think he's really going to be good foil, really good foil for Sheamus. And so I'm really pumped to see how that match goes and to see Ludwig kind of stand on his own a bit too. I mean, he's flirted with not a singles run per se, but he's flirted with, a singles personality out there separate from Gunther. And I think when he's had opportunities to show that, he's made the most of it. And I think he's got one here. So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. That's tonight on Raw. Once again, One True View will be live right here on the One True Sport YouTube channel after Raw tonight to review the show. Dominic D'Angelo will have you covered there. So mark it down in your calendars, guys. Don't miss it tonight after Monday Night Raw. We'll wrap up with some 1TS Daily News nuggets. CM Punk, Jey Uso, Cody Rhodes, those are your top 3 merch sellers for WWE in May of 2024. Interesting that it's CM Punk, kind of. Number one, I don't think the CM Punk merchandise has been all that great since his return. It's been pretty much like a copy paste from, the 2010 CM Punk, right? Nothing new, nothing fresh. And I'm from Chicago. So I love the Stars gimmick. Load me up on some, Chicago Star shirts. I'm in. But Punk is still making some coin off of that. Number one, and not even really an active participant on Monday Night Raw in May. No big surprise to see Jey Uso up on that list. Yeet has taken over everything. So he's there. And then, of course, Cody Rhodes, the WWE Undisputed Champion. Guy is just rolling in it. And he rounds up your top 3. It's a fun little nugget there. The Dominion main event is set for New Japan Pro Wrestling's big summer show coming up this weekend. Spoiler alert, if you don't want to hear spoilers of the Best of the Super Juniors semifinals, hit pause or turn the volume down here for about 30 seconds. I'll give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 to do that. You're welcome. Taiji Ishimori will take on El Desperado in the main event of Dominion, and that will serve as the Best of the Super Juniors 31 finals. The winner getting a shot at the Junior Heavyweight Championship. Pretty big match. I think the tournament, when you look at it holistically, it's been going this way since the beginning, really. I mean, I really didn't see this really ending any other way because, Ishimori's got his return storyline that he's playing off of. Desperado is just a pin in that division. So it makes sense to put those two against one another in really the biggest main event of the Super Junior kind of concept. It's never main evented its own pay-per-view or own signature New Japan show, let alone Dominion, which is arguably the second biggest show of the year for the company. So this is a big moment. And I think these guys are going to have time. I think they're going to have a minute to do what they do. Definitely going to be a match worth checking out over the weekend. Thanks to Jason, who just signed up to become a new member. Thank you, Jason. Appreciate it. OneTrueSport.com if you want to become a member here to One True Sport. Last but not least, before we ride off into the sunset here, folks, Elias, remember Elias? Making some news. He says that the Monday Night Messiah gimmick was really his idea and that it was given to Seth Rollins. He told this to Metro.uk in a recent interview from over the weekend. Are you buying this? Are you selling this? I don't know. Look, that gimmick was so-so to begin with. Like, let's not put the rose-colored glasses on about what that gimmick was. I mean, it had a little bit of staying power early on, but boy, did it even for Seth, like it wore off quick, and it led to what he's doing now. But it definitely wore off quick. And I don't know, Mr. Elias, maybe it's a good idea, my friend. But I don't know, you could have played it better than Seth did. So I don't know. Not sure if I'm buying that one, Mr. Elias, but hey, it is what it is. All right, folks, that's it. We'll wrap up the premiere episode of 1TS Daily right there. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Eastern, right here on One True Sport YouTube channel. Excuse me. Once again, check out our One True Sport membership tiers at onetruesport.com. You're definitely going to want to get in on that. There's perks all over what we're doing at One True Sport, and you're not going to be able to get the full kind of experience of what we do unless you kind of take on that membership. So once again, onetruesport.com. Tonight after Raw, One True View with Dominic D'Angelo. He'll be doing a Raw post show 5:15 Eastern today. The final Terry Funk interview will be airing right here on YouTube. And before that, 2 p.m. The what, where, when, why, and how of One True Sport. How did it all come together? The founders of the organization will be here to explain how it all works, what it all means, and how you can continue getting involved. Once again, you can follow us on Twitter at 1TSport, and you can follow me on Twitter at Zack_Heydorn. You can also follow me and check out my work on a daily basis, minute by minute, over at Brass Ring Media. It's a longer form pro wrestling content platform that analyzes the happenings of professional wrestling backwards and forwards. You can definitely check our work out there. It is free, and we would love to have you. You can follow us on Twitter at BrassRing_Media, or better yet, just head over to our YouTube channel, search Brass Ring Media on YouTube for free. You can check that out as well. All right, guys. Thanks so much to Dominic and Paul, who joined us, of course, in the chat. Jason, our brand new member, Jeff, and Hunter and Jacob, EPA, Matthew, and everybody else who joined us live. Appreciate you. And we'll be back here tomorrow with 1TS Daily. Thanks so much. See ya.